Ashlee Robinson, aka Ashlee Jenae. Her death got even worse than what we actually thought. This situation is really, really bad. I did a little digging, and I don't trust her family, right? If you're a viewer and you've been following the case, don't trust the family, right? We've seen the same thing happen with Kanika Jenkins. We've seen the same thing happen with Shanquella Robinson. And we also seen the same thing happen with Stephen Twitch Boss. Never trust the families. I know when people die, the first thing we want to do is console the family. But what you, the viewer, have to always do is your research to find out if Ashlee and her immediate family were close. Because a lot of you that are viewing, you're not as close to your family as many might think. You don't hang out with your family the way you used to, right? You're doing your own thing. It is what it is. It doesn't mean you hate anybody. It just means that you're an adult now and you got things to do. So I did a little research, and I learned a few things about Joe McCann. Supposed to be some rich guy that is involved in cryptocurrency or something along them lines. And I guess he tries to teach other people how to be rich. I also noticed that it seemed like this is not the first time that that he'd been involved with different women, and there could be possibly other victims that never made the news. He's being protected right now. This particular death is really showing the world how when you're rich and successful, you can literally get away with murder. Meaning if you're white, you can get away. Ashlee was not broke. She was not broke. It is said that her real-time net worth is approximately $1 million. Annual salary is about $300K. It's a lot of information. So now, what I'm trying to get, guys, is this. If the family set up this GoFundMe to take your money, why would they do that if Ashlee got money? If Ashlee got the money, then why don't they just use her money? Get all the paperwork done. You're next of kin, right? Okay. So what happens to her, what she already acquired in her influential lifestyle videos? It is said that she drove a Mercedes-Benz GLC and that she is from New Jersey. She was born April 5th, 1995. It's interesting, in 1995, I was working in a barbershop. She was just born. So she had money. So why the family start a GoFundMe? Begging you guys so that they could take a vacation. I also located the Instagram pages of, I believe, a sister, and I'm not sure who the next person is because it's an initial BN. It could possibly be a mother, right? When I looked at these two Instagram pages, they had no activity, meaning these two Instagram pages from the family, they were not active on these pages. The last known photo of Ashlee with her family was around 20, let me check, 2017, right? That's an old photo. That's old. And Ashlee is not in uh anything else. It's like it's an old photo. Now, in that particular 2017 image, Ashlee is in the comments. She responded in the comments. Let me see who thumbed up her comment, because again, we have to put these type of clues together to see if Ashlee and her family was good, right? So let me see who liked the photo. Nobody from her immediate family liked the photo, just 4 random people. So this is old. Ashlee was not active with her family. So what we're seeing on social media, where the family just came out of the woodworks, is a money grab. And I want you viewers to stop being emotional. What we got to focus on is justice for Ashlee, not justice for her family. Do you understand that? We can't trust the family. I know you want to, but in these type of situations, when people die, family normally try to see how they can capitalize off the death. Even in your own life, when you have a relative that die, what normally family do? They start asking everybody to chip in to pay for the funeral, knowing the individual most likely have insurance, probably have things set up, but they do it to make money on the back end. And then people start fighting over their material possessions. Same thing in this case. The family was not close with Ashlee. This is why they set up the GoFundMe. Now, there's a rumor that's going around that Cardi B is paying for a funeral. No. I don't know where that come from. It seemed like somebody edited something together or whatever the case is. But I don't believe that one bit. Because if Cardi B was paying for a funeral for Ashlee, then that would make the family's GoFundMe look even worse than what it already mean. Because if somebody's footing the bill, the question you have to ask is, why would they foot the bill when she had a fiance that's a multi-millionaire? Think about that. For McCann to pretty much be a multi-millionaire, and Ashlee's family had to throw up a GoFundMe, that should speak volumes to everybody that that man is guilty. You know, I believe that he had something to do with her death. Now, this is all speculation. At the same time, the red flags are there. Did Joe reach out to the family to fly them out, to take care of them, to make arrangements for the funeral, to do what needs to be done to add clarity to the situation? No, he did not. I found a social media that I believe is Joe's page. At the same time, I don't know if it's a fake one, but the registration date for that page, it's not new. So it looked like it'd been around for a couple of years, but it looked like he must have taken down all his photos. And that's a red flag too. When you have a social media page and you start to hide photos, you don't want nobody to see stuff, because it's like she would post photos of him on her page, but he didn't do that. He didn't reciprocate that energy. Ladies, um, when you're with a man, right, and you're excited about the relationship, and you're posting his photos, you're just sharing in your stories, you're doing all of this extra stuff, right? And you go to his page, and he's not even posting you, like you don't even exist. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. That means that he's ashamed of you and he's just using you for a purpose. Now, this whole death, in my opinion, is a blood sacrifice, a ritual that was done in Africa. And ain't no telling the kind of suffering that Ashley actually been through. Because the way this thing was set up, it was as if though she was just happy and having a great time. But for all we know, Ashley could have been dead for days. She could have been dead for a while. And the whole time, it could have been a situation where this was just orchestrated properly. Think about the phone call that the parents received. That could have been AI. Nowadays, you could use AI to create the actual voice of someone. They could generate that, and then they can make a phone call to make the parents know, hey, this is what's happening. And it's not really Ashley that's calling. She could have been dead already. You understand? Because there's conflicting stories with this case. And Joe is quiet right now. He's not speaking, he's not saying anything, and that's a red flag for me. Joe, if you're listening, because I know you're most likely listening, you need to turn yourself in. I don't know who's protecting you, but you need to turn yourself in and bring closure to this situation, because it's going to get worse. People are asking questions. The public want to know exactly what happened to Ashley. She don't just turn up in a closet, hang. Like, that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense at all, guys. It don't make no sense that a woman would celebrate her birthday, travel, expensive hotel, resort, luxury. Think about all the pictures and all the content that she most likely have on her cell phone. Where's her cell phone? Where's her cell phone, guys? See, these are the type of things that you have to ask yourself. If Ashley was on this journey, on this trip, she have to have content, right? She had to be recording, taking photos. Ain't no telling what kind of recordings was recorded on her phone that somebody else was able to possibly delete after they killed her. Um, take her fingerprint, her eyes, and be able to go through the phone. The same way they did with Kevin Samuels. A lot of people don't know, but when Kevin Samuels died, or should I say when he was murdered, Um, I was the only content creator that investigated the death of Kevin Samuels, and I made the people believe and understand that Kevin was murdered, and whoever murdered him were people that was close to him, and they were able to take over his platforms. We're talking about his YouTube channel, his his Instagram, Facebook, any social media he got. Somebody was able to control these platforms. Now, if you pass away unexpectedly, nobody will have access to your passwords or anything. No social media page would give up that information because it's private. Just like your bank. The bank is not giving up nothing. Do you understand me? So when Kevin Samuels was murdered, quickly you had this attorney on YouTube claiming that he's his best friend and how the Kevin Samuels estate is going to be transferred to the daughter. And I'm like, listen, Kevin Samuels estate, this is YouTube. That man don't own YouTube. What estate are you talking about? But for some reason, someone is still running Kevin Samuels' platform, uploading videos to keep the monetization going. So whoever murdered Kevin have access of his platform, collecting all his money. So how did they get that info? Through his cell phone. Same thing with Ashlee. Now I'm surprised that Ashlee's Instagram page is still up. I already downloaded everything. So if it turn up that it's closed or they deleted stuff, then it could be Joe that actually went to that page to remove his images, because I'm telling you, he's fighting right now with Instagram and he's seeing how he can get those images removed. That's why I told all you folks to make sure you download, take screenshots, because he's going to try to act as if though his relationship with Ashlee never existed. For a man that proposed to her, we should be seeing the utmost amount of compassion, empathy for the loss of this woman. But we don't see it, guys. So what does that say? It said he never cared about her. And this is why a lot of you ladies, man, you got to be really careful chasing the bag, chasing guys that got money. Everything that glitter is not gold. It's not diamonds. You might be with a demon and don't even know. You know? So when we look at these Instagram pages of the family, they're only promoting the GoFundMe. That's all they're concerned with is money. That's why I said, if you're a viewer and you're listening, stop sending money to the GoFundMe. You guys have to stop playing, man. If we're going to focus on justice for Ashlee, let's not make the family rich, because the family was nowhere around before she died. They're coming out of the woodworks like anybody would when they die. And they're acting as if though they care when they really was never there. And this is what I think a lot of you are missing. Don't get caught up in your emotions and feel that you gotta give your money to the family, because Ashlee's dead. She's not coming back. So what are you wasting money for? There's nothing they could do. In order for anything to be done, we need the voice of the people. This is why social media is so powerful. A lot of y'all don't understand how this works. $50,000, $60,000 is not going to bring Joe McCann to be arrested or charged with murder. It is going to take an investigation. It's going to take the public, the outcry of the people, putting pressure on this situation to the point where it goes viral and everybody's asking questions, and we make it hot to the point where Joe have to begin to speak. And other people that are in high places are going to begin to investigate what needs to be investigated. A lot of these type of stories, guys, they already know the truth, but they're going to protect the killers. They always do this, man. Nobody could tell us that Ashlee just said, hey, I want to take my life. She had no need to. She was getting money. She was happy. She was excited about getting married. But all of that was a facade from Joe in order to line her up, to take her life, to blood sacrifice her. You understand? And he probably got compensated. He probably got rewarded, because for most of these devils, they do these rituals in order to harvest the energy of people. And she had a lot of energy. She had a lot of energy, guys. Even the family's trying to get their piece of the pie. And that's why I said I don't trust the family. I'm going to read this thing from the Instagram pages, because the only thing they seem to post is the GoFundMe saying support the family of Ashlee Robinson. No, we don't need to support the family of Ashlee Robinson. We don't. What we need to do is get justice for Ashlee. That's what we need to focus on, because I don't trust the family. With all due respect, I don't trust you guys, because I know that you guys are money hungry right now. Because if Ashlee had a net worth of 1 million and she was getting paid over 300K a year, Ashlee got money. So there's no need for you to be begging for $62,000 for what? Your daughter has money. Why you ain't get no bread? Why Ashlee didn't feel need to cut her parents some bread for a rainy day? Come on, man. Y'all getting played like a fiddle. But let me look at this thing real quick. So on the page, I'm reading it to you guys. It says, we are deeply grateful for the outpouring of love, prayers, support shown to our family during this incredibly difficult time. Your support means more to us than words can express. And that's all they said in their caption after capturing your money, right? And it doesn't make any sense. Let me read what some of these people are saying. I honestly wait, they have a typo. I guess, be so confused. She was a model, she streamed, she did all this lavish content, video, vexing, all these expensive trips. Now it's a GoFundMe when it's people that really do need the help. I'm confused, but bless the family. Never know what's real and fake with all this lavish content. She flaunted, and the irony of this is crazy. Then the fiance, he had all this money, so many questions. And I feel what they're saying, because it's like, if you're doing all this luxury stuff, man, is it just a bunch of fake stuff? Fake brands, fake bags, fake trips? Because why would the family be posting a GoFundMe? Why would the family, guys, look, guys, look, listen to me. If you got money, right? Let's just say each of you have 5 million in your bank. And God forbid you had a sudden passing. There should be no reason your family is on social media begging for $62,000 when you got 5 million sitting in the bank. They don't make no sense. So this person is basically saying the same thing. Like, look, I'm confused. It's like you taking all these expensive trips, designer clothes, lavish lifestyle. Your family is begging for money. Come on, man. Is it real? Is it fake? And then I did some research and found out that Joe is not broke. He's not broke, guys. He got money. And she was trying to divest into that world. And as we can see, the grass was not greener on the other side. So this should be a wake-up call for women to not be influenced by these lavish lifestyles, thinking that you're going to find this provider male, he's rich, wealthy, he's going to take care of you. We don't know the level of suffering this woman been through. I don't trust the official story that was released to the public. I don't trust that story, that she was hanging. I believe they just put her there because they want that to be the narrative. But let me see what that person says. Why isn't the fiance paying for this? Isn't he worth $45 million? That's right. That's right, guys. Like on his page, let me see if I can pull this up. Now, I can only let you listen to the audio. I'm going to do videos eventually with the videos so you can see it. But let me see if I can let you hear this about this particular guy. I don't know if there's music in this, so let me check.
This guy is a crypto millionaire. So I asked him why he thinks training your mind is just as important as training your body. And here's what he said. If you're of the belief that you want to take care of your body, a lot of people tend to exercise, they do fasting, they do diets, whatever it is. There isn't a lot of focus on the mind. But ultimately, I have a coach that I train with at the gym.
So that's supposed to be Joe talking. He's a crypto millionaire. So he's not broke. Why Joe is not footing the bill for the GoFundMe? If he was going to marry the family's daughter. So something ain't right about this. And here's another thing. If she's dead, did he take back the ring? Did he take back the engagement ring? Did he offer it to the mother and say, Mom, on behalf of me to you, this is the engagement ring that I gave your daughter? Where's the ring? These are the type of things, guys, that you have to question, because I don't believe that Ashlee understood what she was getting involved in. This man has a dark, evil energy that's over him. And he's connected with a lot of people. He knows a lot of people. He's not some regular Joe Schmo that just woke up yesterday. He's connected. And these kind of guys are involved in some dark things. And this is what I'm trying to make you guys understand, that her death is worse than we think. The narrative that they put out, I don't believe it. I believe that this woman was dead already. And I believe that when the call came in that she was engaged, she was already dead. Because why would a woman contact her parents to say that she's engaged and be so happy and then decide later on that she want to take her life? That don't make no sense, man. That don't make sense, guys. It don't make no sense. I believe that phone call that came in was generated via AI. AI is a very, very powerful, at the same time, dangerous technology that could be used to manipulate situations, twist narratives, and really make us believe that something is real. The other day, now watch this, gang. I'm gonna have to react to this particular video in due time, but I want to see with a show of ones if any of you seen this video floating around on the web. I'm sure you did. I'm going to explain it. Put a 1 if you've seen the video that I'm going to talk about. A father came on social media and he was talking about how his daughter received a phone call from who she thought was her father, but it wasn't him. It was someone that used AI, and they were trying to get the daughter to open the door to the house. And for whatever reason, um, I guess it didn't go down according to plan. This particular video, this father was very, very concerned because somebody was targeting his daughter. And it was like, wow, man. He was like, how in the world did my daughter think it was me? It wasn't her father, but somebody used AI to generate his voice. This is why you have to watch out, because sometimes people call your house, right? And the first thing you say is, hello. Once you do that, they recorded your voice. So now they have data to feed AI to generate your voice, you know? And the daughter was like, hey, dad, I got your call. And he was like, I never called you. She was like, stop lying. You just called me. And he was like, I never called you. And he was basically giving this message out to the public to warn everyone to be very careful when receiving phone calls and various other correspondence from people that you think are real. You got to literally double check nowadays. So I believe that the phone call that the father claimed he got, that his daughter was engaged, she was happy, that was AI, fam. That was not real. That was not real, fam. It was not. If that was real, why would the daughter take her life? Every daughter would want her dad to walk her down the aisle, guys, like a fairy tale, like Cinderella. Think about it. The daughter is into the luxury, the lavish lifestyles. You don't think she want to get married and have her father walk her down the aisle? So why would they use AI for that call? To basically make the family be comfortable while she's on the trip. She was dead already. She was dead already, guys. Ashlee was gone already. You understand? Don't believe the narrative that is put out there. You got to think logically. You got to think logically, guys. She was celebrating her 31st birthday. She was happy. She found a guy in whom she truly liked. She went on a lavish vacation trip, spent time at a luxury hotel. All of that only to unalive yourself? No. Something happened along the way on that trip that opened up her eyes, and she found out who Joe really was. And once she found out who he really is, she tried to get away, guys. Ashlee tried to get away from that man, but it was too late. You know, sometimes when the devil is revealed and you're trying to get away, it's too late. You can't live to tell the tale. And being that she's an influencer, with what she known about Joe, it was going to basically come back to social media. So they had to take her out. They had to take her out, fam. I am 100% accurate with what I'm saying, guys. Many of you may not even believe a word I say. When I tell you, when I speak on these things, I am normally 100% accurate. That woman was murdered, and she was silenced because of what she saw in Africa, what she saw from Joe. It raised an argument. That's unlikely based on the information that's posted on the social media. The social media is telling us a love story, a perfect couple that are successful, no problems, no issues. Something happened out there that caused a disturbance. And I believe what happened was Ashlee found out the real Joe that she did not know. and it made her question him. It made her react. And things may have gotten physical. One thing led to another, and they had to get rid of her because that hotel, the area where she's at, is designed to create a fantasy. I also seen videos in my research of people that book that location to make similar videos, you know, like with the giraffes, the zebras, and all of that type of stuff. Literally with the same room, the same stuff, and it all looked like it's AI generated, guys. Just like I told you. I told you, her videos look AI, bro. It don't look real. It looked like a fairy tale, like a fantasy. That's not real life, guys. I'm telling you, it's all generated AI tech. You pay for these things. Very, very high quality videos, and they look realistic. But if you have discernment, if you have that intuition, you should be able to look at what you see on social media and know it's fake. You know, Ashlee was already gone. And for whatever happened out there, guys, was dark. And they lured Ashlee out there. Um, when you look at, and again, I'm gonna do separate videos where I'm gonna kind of go through the content that's on her page to show you how I believe that Ashlee was purposely lured to Africa to be used for some sort of ritual. And she found out too much information, and she was going to bring that information back, and they silenced her. You know, they silenced her, guys. Ashlee was going to bring back information that was going to shake the internet about Joe. And they decided the best solution is to take her out, but they had to create a narrative and have an alibi for Joe in order for him to go scot-free. This is why they told us about separating rooms. Guys, that don't make no sense. That don't make sense, guys. It makes no sense. Because just the thought of a grown couple being separated and having separate rooms, it's almost like it's like a joke. This is what they want us to believe. If a woman is fed up, as R. Kelly would say, um, there's nothing you could do about it. So if Ashlee was really pissed off with Joe, no separating of a room is going to remedy the problem by the time morning sets in, because she's going to want to come back home. If Ashlee was really upset, she would not stay in her room. She would want to leave. She would call her folks. She would post to social media. She would do something, guys, that would alert the public. So I don't believe that narrative. It's a lie that was fabricated by uh, the media in Africa, the people, whoever put out this nonsense. It's a lie. She's an influencer. Guys, I'm a social media influencer. I'm a content creator. If I'm in another country and something is going down and I believe my life is in danger, I believe this might be the end. My phone is my lifeline. I would be posting whatever I can on social media so that you guys can document everything in case something happened to me. There's info and proof on the web. So that means Ashlee's phone was taken away. They took away her lifeline, guys. They took away Ashlee's phone before they murdered her. She didn't have access to her phone. It is said that, and we talked about this in yesterday's stream, that Ashlee asked the hotel staff if they could get her a charger. Guys, that don't make sense. That don't make sense. Why would a popular influencer who got money need hotel staff to get her a charger for her phone? That don't make no sense, guys. Come on, y'all. Why? Why would they paint that narrative? Because they already had access to her phone. So they wanted to look natural. And then it says once the person left the room to go get the charger, they came back 10 minutes later and she's hanging in a closet. Come on now. That's a lie. It's a lie, ladies and gentlemen. You understand? They basically had access to her phone. An influencer not only would have backup chargers, they would have um, battery packs so they can charge their phone on the go. This is typical of what any influencer would do, especially when they get in content in the street. They would have a battery pack, they would have their chargers with them, a backup charger. She has a purse, guys. She's not going to go down there and have a broke charger. What successful woman is walking around without a charger? You know why? It could be possible that Joe took her charger. Let's just park the car right there and use our brain. Why would they ask staff? Why would she ask staff for a charger? Well, it could be alleged that Joe took her charger to prevent her from uh, having access to the internet. And, her phone was off, meaning it was dead. So she couldn't record nothing. Or maybe she did. Who knows? At the same time, I believe that Joe gained access to her phone, deleted everything, and covered up his tracks. You know? Well, she could have wanted to call her mom back or get help. Look, guys, Ashlee was murdered. She most likely suffered and she was unable to reach her parents for real, for real. The phone call that came in, that was AI. I don't believe that was Ashlee. I don't believe it, guys, because it makes no sense. Why would Ashlee contact her dad to say that she's engaged, but didn't contact her dad to say, hey, I'm in trouble? Make it make sense. Make it make sense, because the media think that we're dumb. We're not dumb. We can smell through this garbage. There's foul play written all over it. Her death, listen, Ashlee Jenae, Ashlee Robinson's death is worse than we think, because there's more people that are involved, man. It goes right back to the Shanquella Robinson, right back to the Kanika Jenkins, right back to the Stephen Twitch Boss cases. It's the same dark cloud that's over it. They want us to believe these people just took their lives. No, these people were murdered. You know what I mean? These people that were murdered. Yeah. And what did they do to the rest of her belongings? Again, what about her belongings, guys? Her belongings, her clothes, her purse, things that she owned. Where does that, shouldn't they mail that out to the family? Shouldn't Joe do his best to make sure that her cell phone, her jewelry, all of this stuff, shouldn't the family have access to these items so that they can kind of put the pieces together? If they do a thorough investigation, guys, they would be able to locate the timestamps of anyone tampering with her phone, log detail, uh, search history, whether they logged on the internet, whether they looked through her photos. All of this stuff has a log. So at her point of death, someone may have accessed this data to remove information that was possibly damaging to Joe's life, that could have really blew his cover. And I'm sure that Ashlee fought back and may have suffered greatly at the hands of this monster. Because again, the media is not showing us photos. They're not showing us nothing. Everything is quiet, you know? Everything is quiet. Nobody's showing us anything because they're covering for this man because he's rich, he's successful, you know? Now, again, I don't trust Joe, but I also don't trust I don't trust Ashlee's parents. Even though they lost a child, you know, she's a grown woman, but that's the parents, so that's their child. I get it. I understand the loss of a child. I know they may feel some type of way, but I don't believe that they're being honest either in regards to their relationship with Ashlee. I don't believe that they had much of a relationship with her. He said Ashlee was going to tell like LL Rock the bells. Yes, she was, guys. Ashlee was going to give us the truth. And that's why the argument. Here's the thing. Watch this. Why don't Joe just come out and tell the world this is what we were arguing about? He's not even telling you why. What could two people possibly argue about that would make a successful woman with a lot going for herself decide that the best course of action, even after telling the world and my social media following that I'm engaged, after all this stuff, the best solution is to go unalive myself in a dark closet? Why would she want that to be the last thing you remember of her? She was murdered, guys. Ashlee was murdered, and we need to get justice for her. And the number one suspect right now is Joe. I don't know why this man have not yet been grilled by the authorities. And see, a lot of times the reason why they go over to Africa, guys, is because they can get a pass, man. If this was done in the States over here, Joe Schmo wouldn't stand a chance. This is why when they do these rituals, they go to other countries. Think about all the deaths that happen to a lot of people. It's always overseas somewhere. You know? He is a coward because he know what he did. And there's no one else to blame. He was supposed to protect Ashlee at all costs, not separate himself to go to another room that's 10 minutes away and leave her alone by herself. The parents should be on social media talking about this situation, but they're not because they're focusing on making money too. That's why I said, as viewers, I get it. You want to do something for the family. You think that you're being generous. There's people out there that got real needs, fam. There are people out here that are really suffering. And you guys just gave their family $62,000 for nothing. That could have went to help real people that are going through it. Ashlee is dead, guys. All we could do now is bring awareness to the situation, speak on the situation, make sense of all the clues, hopefully to get the word out there, make as much noise as possible so that the right people can begin to investigate this. The family is not doing anything. They're just waiting on money. You understand? The family should be making noise, but they're not. And that's the problem I have anytime these stories come up, is that the families never really make noise. Look at Stephen Twitch Boss family. As soon as Twitch turned up dead at that motel, why the family didn't come out and say, my son would never do that? They went along with the official narrative that he took his own life. Why would Twitch do that? That don't make no sense. He was supposed to be doing work with I'm not sure if it's Master P. I think it was Master P. He was supposed to be doing some work with him before he died. He had a lot of other projects in the works. He was very successful. He had a awesome following on TikTok, YouTube. Everybody loved Twitch. And he recently celebrated, I think it was his anniversary. Think about it, guys. Why these deaths happened in that way? Twitch recently celebrated his anniversary, being married, and then a few days later, dead. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. And if you guys can be so kind, hit the like button. If you're new, if you're enjoying the content, if you're enjoying the conversation, hit the like button. That's what helps YouTube to push the videos so more people can come on through and we can have this conversation. And then after the live stream is over, you guys can have a conversation in the comments where we can kind of put the clues together, because I'm not a know-it-all. I don't know everything that's going on. Some of you guys might have more information than me. I just focus on staying in my lane. I know how to break things down. You know what I'm saying? So if people choose to send me information, then I can break it down. Other than that, I'm looking at the story for what it is, and I'm trying to make sense out of a complicated situation. Joe is the number one suspect right now. He's a multimillionaire, very successful, and he was the one who popped the big question to Ashlee. So if he truly had love for Ashlee, why Joe is not speaking about what they were arguing about, so he can put to rest all the speculation, all of the rumors, the gossip, all the social media stuff. He can put an end to it by just saying, hey guys, this is what we were arguing about. But he's not going to do that, because the truth is Ashlee found out something about Joe that shocked her to the point where she didn't want to have nothing to do with him, and she probably was trying to leave, and he did not want to let her go. They're telling us that they separated rooms. I don't believe that story. Let's see the camera footage. Let's see the camera footage of hotel staff come into the room, and we see Joe packing his things to go to another room. We need that footage. We need to see the footage, guys. We demand, we the people, demand. And see, this is what I'm saying. Why Ashlee's family is not pushing this, fam? Why the family is not demanding to see hotel footage of the minute Ashlee and Joe got to the hotel, where they were in the environment, so that we can put the puzzle together. We're talking about someone that was possibly murdered, where the media is saying one thing, but it's a lot of conflicting stories. It's not making no sense. You know? So I don't believe the official story. Just like I never believed the official story about Stephen Twitch Boss. I know he was murdered, and I know his wife have something to do with the murder, guys. Stephen Twitch Boss's wife have something to do with Twitch's murder. Because when she released that book, this woman literally painted her husband as a pedophile, guys, in her book. I purchased the book, not because I wanted to support her, because I'm a content creator. I purchased the book to go right to the pages where she alleged that Twitch was touching kids. And I'm like, wow, your husband is dead and you're painting this negative image of him being a PDF file? Nah, man. And then she go get with this new man that she's with right now. I think she's already married. This is crazy. You see? Same thing with the Shanquella Robinson situation. All her friends that was with her, they were out there, they were fighting. She ended up dead somewhere. Everybody come back home. Everybody lied to the family. Nobody wanted to face the family once Shanquella was dead. All those friends of hers scattered. Nobody wanted to talk to the family. This is what normally happens when you're hanging with frenemies. Just like Joe. Joe proposed to this woman, made the world believe he was in love, and now that she's dead, Joe is nowhere to be found, guys. Joe is hiding from the news media. Joe don't want to talk to the father. He don't want to talk to the mother. Joe is hiding photos on his Instagram. Joe is hiding because Joe is guilty. Do you understand? His guilt is a red flag. And this is why you have to apply pressure through these kind of videos. Now, I would hope that Ashlee's family have the guts and the balls to actually speak on these issues like me, straight. Just question everything and demand answers. But you don't need $62,000 to do that. How is it, guys, that I could come to social media? Watch this. I could come to social media and I could do this content and I can reach people, and nobody gave me $62,000. I mean, I wouldn't mind having $62,000. I could use that. But think about this. Think about how effective the content is by just speaking to reach people about the story. Why the parents ain't doing that? Why the sisters, brothers, cousins, why the whole family of Ashlee is not speaking out? Why we only see the father and the mother and what believes to be a sister? Why? Where's everybody else in the family? Where's all of Ashlee's friends? Where's all of Ashlee's business partners? Where are the people that manage Ashlee if she has management? Where are all the people behind her Instagram? All the people that claim they had love for her? Where are all these people to speak about her death? Everybody's in hiding right now. And this is what normally happens when you got money, is that people are only there for you when they could get something from you. Once you pass on and they know they can't get no more money, they don't even care about you no more. You know? So we got to really talk about this issue because, again, Joe appeared to have taken down a lot of photos. Now, somebody else on Instagram was able to capture some of this info, and it shows Joe in a lot of photos with other women. But for some reason, it looked like he took down all of this stuff or put it on private or whatever the case is. And I don't know, maybe he have another page. I got to do a little more digging to find out. But I don't trust that guy. I believe that he's the number one suspect. I believe that he needs to be arrested and charged with murder because he was supposed to be the sole protector of Ashlee. And instead, he went to a separate room. That is a red flag. Ashlee was already dead, guys. When he went to that second room, Ashlee was already gone. That was his way to say, hey, I wasn't even in the room with her. So whatever she did, that don't got nothing to do with me. See, if he was in the same room and Ashlee allegedly took her own life, then people would be like, hold up now. How she end up in a closet hanging herself and you in the room in bed sleeping? You get it? So he had to create an alibi, guys, to paint a new narrative to make us believe that the hotel moved him. And being that he's powerful and got money, he most likely have some sort of investment in that hotel. So he controls the staff. He controls the cameras. It was said that he knows the person who owns the hotel. So at the end of the day, guys, this whole thing was orchestrated. This was orchestrated to be in his favor. Because, again, when you have a man and a woman who is fighting, police are normally called. They're not going to separate you. And you go to this room, you stay in your room, not when there's a domestic disturbance. Police must be called so that they can properly investigate what went down to make sure the woman is safe, that the man is safe, and we could kind of cool down the situation. Perhaps one of you need to leave, but we need to make a report of this. So if the hotel knew about this, why the hotel didn't call law enforcement? So that they can document this case to create a paper trail. There was no documentation, guys. So how do we know the timeline of events was accurate? You got to throw everything out, guys. When it comes to the case of Ashlee Jenae, we got to throw everything that the media gave us out. And we got to start from scratch. The timeline of events don't add up. If a man and a woman is arguing in a hotel to the point where someone else in the hotel can hear it and they notify the staff, right? Why would that person notify the staff? Why don't that person call the cops? It's not adding up, guys. It's not adding up. If I'm in a hotel room and I hear a woman screaming for her life, there's a lot of noise, first thing I'm calling is 911. Then I'm calling downstairs like, yo, somebody's killing somebody in the room next door. I just called the police. People call police when they hear disturbances. They don't call management. Management cannot do nothing. What they gonna do? What could they do? The first ones you call is the cops. It's a domestic situation. So why the other hotel guests didn't call the police? Why the hotel staff didn't call the police? That's all negligence when you look at the case. They were supposed to call the police, at least to document, to make sure that everybody's safe. Because I believe that if the police was called, we would have had a different outcome. You know? Again, you bring up a good point. Because, all right, watch this, guys. And my apologies if I'm, being that I'm in the United States, my mind is thinking how we are. I forgot that this is in Africa. And someone brought up a point. The cops were probably paid off, though. There you go. We got to look at this thing, guys, from the lens of how things are overseas. Because a lot of times we're looking at it based on how we are in the States. How when something go down, you call the police. Or if you have your Second Amendment with you, you can take care of business yourself. Overseas, things are different. Overseas, man, I tell you, people can get away with murder overseas, man. People can literally unalive you, keep it moving, and the police can be paid off. You could literally, the cops can show up and you could literally pull out money and be like, look, make this all go away. I give this to you. You give this to me. Yeah, I give this to you. Just make it go away. Okay. Hey, you guys, clean this up. You don't go there. Take him. You take him away. You take him away. That's what they do. Clean it up. That US dollar goes far, fam. That US dollar, it'll go far over there. And now that you think about it, as much as I would have liked the police to be called, I forget that we're dealing with another country. And this is why, as ladies, when you go on these vacations, these trips, you got to keep in mind to have someone with you that you trust and they're able to keep a log of everything. If you're a high profile influencer, whatever the case is, I feel that the kind of security you need to have is someone who is always keeping tabs on what's going on and notifying social media of what's going on with you when you're overseas in another country. Because the laws are different, the police are different, and we can't look at it as if though we're protected. That's like you go to Mexico, you go to the Dominican Republic, you go to Any other place outside of the United States, things are different, fam. Things are different. You just can't assume that the police is going to defend you, that the police is going to protect you. People can get paid off and they can literally bury you alive, and nobody would never know. So I feel that Ashlee should have had two people that was documenting her trip and her journey. Meaning, now watch this. You see how they said that somebody was next door that heard the argument? Okay. Ashlee should have had, number one, two people that accompanied her on the trip who are right next door to her in the hotel, so they can hear what's going on. Number two, she should have had a camera or some sort of device in her room for safety purposes as a backup. Meaning, this backup is something she should have put there even without Joe knowing. Without Joe knowing. Just to be on the safe side. Some of you guys, some of you ladies, maybe you could take this information and use it for yourself. But you have to have a backup, guys. You have to have a backup. And the recording could have been going to the cloud. That way, if there was something that happened to you, when they investigate the case, they'll be able to find that info. And it'll be able to indict whoever was involved. And it can be used to verify if the staff really walked in that room and found her in a closet. Because I believe that somebody planted her in the closet. See, this is why having this information as a safety net, so that when they try to create a narrative, we can catch all of them on a lie. And now the hotel could be shut down, the police department shut down, everybody going to prison, including Joe, because Ashlee was smart enough to have a hidden camera that was recording all that data to the clouds. And these are the type of things that I normally would do and think about, because I don't really trust people. And it's not that I am paranoid. It's not that. It's called being smart. In today's day, everything must be recorded and documented, because it's just like when you're driving your car. It's good to have a dash cam, not just a front dash cam, but a rear dash cam. That way, if anybody's doing anything goofy, it's being recorded. Because you have insurance fraud, you have all sorts of creepy stuff that goes on, people brake checking you, all sorts of madness. And you need to make sure that it's captured. Whether it happens or not, it's a good investment. So sometimes you need to invest in your own security. When I look at Joe, I don't trust that guy. He looks evil. He looked like a devil. He looked like he'll hurt women. He do not look like the kind of guy that had love for Ashlee. He never had love for her, guys. That proposal, that engagement was fake. Ashlee thought it was real, but it was actually fake from him. He didn't mean it. He did not mean it, guys. Joe did not mean what he talked about with her, fam. And that, to me, is what raises a lot of questions with this situation. He's not speaking to the public. He haven't come out to share what they were arguing about, because it would add closure, or at least simmer down how the public feel about the situation. Because we the people do not trust Joe right now. Joe is a suspect, and we want him brought to justice. Now, to anybody that might be out there that are in high places, right? People that have the resources, people that have the power, people that have influence over um, certain things. All I can do is do this content. I don't have millions of dollars to put together this and that. I don't have that. But I do have a voice and a microphone. Maybe there are people out there in high places that could see the situation that's going on with the Ashlee Jenae, Ashlee Robinson case and would apply pressure to open a real investigation into what really happened. Because Joe has power. He has money, which means he has connections. And ain't no telling how many other people are connected to him and how many other women may have been flown out to Africa, to other places, and may have been unalive, and we don't even know. So perhaps we can bring justice to a lot of women that may have lost their lives. But we need this kind of content to reach the right kind of people, because it just takes this information hitting the desk of someone who really got access to bring a true investigation to life, to bring justice to Ashlee. Because there's no way that a successful woman, like I said, guys, I found some information. It is said that her net worth is about 1 million. She was getting paid over 300K annually. 31, born 1995, April 5th. Content creator. She drove a Mercedes-Benz GLC. It's a lot of stuff that this woman was involved in. Originally from New Jersey, Ashlee Robinson. And for a person to have success, of course she's going to have people that hate. And this is where the family comes in. I don't believe that her family and her were tightly knit. That's my opinion, right? At the same time, this information, it speaks volumes, because it's like, okay, if she got this money, she got this success, why would the family need to do anything in terms of a GoFundMe? And also, if Joe loves this woman, why he didn't foot the bill for the family to come out? The family should already be out there already. Joe should be welcoming the family right now. They should be having dinner. They should be in a nice hotel. He should be having conversations with them, consoling them, grieving together, if anything. Like, I can't believe she would do this. I can't believe it. But it's like Joe just abandoned the whole situation. Like, wow, that's cold. I thought this woman was a woman you're engaged to. Her mother and her father are crying out, bro, you're supposed to be with the family right now. You don't supposed to be hiding. You don't supposed to be locking up your Instagram and your social medias. You're a suspect as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned, Joe is guilty, man. But because he's white, he got money, he's into all this crypto stuff, he's a powerful guy. He's one of them kind of guys that been connected for a long time, and he's like low key. He's one of them type of crypto guys that are low key successful and don't mind everybody thinking he's broke. He don't mind everybody thinking he's sorry, because anybody that's truly rich and successful, they don't like fame. They don't like being famous. They want to be low key. A real successful man do not want to be looking over his shoulders. He want to be able to just live his life, drive around, and nobody know what he got. He could go up into any store and he don't need security because none of you know him. I don't like fame. Even with social media, a lot of times fame comes. I don't like fame. I don't like when I go on the street and everybody know who I am on social media. I don't like that. You understand? It might be nice for certain people. Certain people are cool, but you got some weirdos out there that don't know how to respect your privacy. Like, they'll see you out and about with your family and they'll just bum rush you. Hey man, whoa, what's going on? Bro, you see me with my kids, bro. don't even come around me, dog. Like, don't say nothing to me. You know what I mean? Just kind of, yo, salute, bro, and keep it moving. I'm with my fam. If I'm by myself, different story. But if I'm with my family, I'm on edge, which means that anybody come around me, I'm gonna be looking at you like you crazy. Like, don't even try to know that nonsense. So I don't like fame. I'm not with all of that type of stuff. I'm originally from New York. At the same time, when you have that New York mindset, it's not about being paranoid. It's about being pretty much on point. In other words, I got to watch my surroundings, make sure everything is right, make sure my family is good, because my job is to protect them. You know what I mean? It's no different than if you a dude, you in New York, you in the hood, and you got some peeps coming through. You got to make sure that they protected, because you know how the hood get down. So you got to put the word out from advance. Yo, so and so coming through. Yeah, everything good. All right, you good, bro. Hey, bro, you good, bro. You come through the hood, you good. You don't got nothing to worry about. Ain't nobody out here trying to rob you. Ain't nobody trying to do nothing grimy. Everything is good. You know what I mean? Same thing when you go to the streets. This man literally has connections in Africa. He's known, and he's known around the world too. Again, we're not dealing with some regular dude. Ashlee thought she hit the jackpot. Her Instagram posts, her captions are very telling, man. Very, very telling. Let me see if I can find this one, because I made a video about it, but I want to see if I can bring this up. It's a particular post. I'll have that video for you guys. Possibly in the morning time. If I can, I'll have it up. But let me see. I'm not sure if this is it. But let me see. This could probably be it, because this one was very, very shocking, man. Very, very shocking. Her caption. Just go to her page and read those captions. Those captions would really make you think, like, wow, something is wrong, man. Okay, I think I found it. In one of her posts, right? In one of her posts, it's a picture of her sitting in her car, and it looked like she's wearing probably like Gucci or probably Louis Vuitton. I'm not sure what brand, but she's sitting in her car, and you see her in her car, right? The caption reads, "Read the energy, not the caption." That's on her photo. Now, a lot of times when people die, go back to their social medias. Their social medias says a lot. Even some of her posts was talking about mental health. It was talking about the S word. So we got to really look at all of this stuff. I still don't believe she took her life, but they're going to try to use her old post to make it seem like maybe she was going through something. And, no, I'm not looking at all of that stuff. What I'm focusing on is what she said in the caption. Read the energy, not the caption. So she don't want us to read the caption. She wants us to focus on the energy that's in her photos. So what I'm getting from this is, what Ashlee is saying is, study my Instagram, study my social media, read the energy that's in the photos, in the videos. Don't just read the captions. Look at the energy. Because what she wants is for us to really understand the energy of Joe and how that relates to her death. Look at his energy. What is he doing right now? Is he showing the signs of a man that has empathy? Is he showing compassion? Is he showing the family love? Is he being considerate of what her fans on social media are thinking? Is he doing anything to remedy the the rumors? Is he doing anything that can show that he's innocent? No. So that's energy. That's energy. Ashlee wants us to see, read the energy, not the caption. You see that? And this is why I know that Joe is guilty. He's guilty in this case, guys. Very, very guilty. Let me see this comment here. Okay, yeah, she had money, but you can't just get into someone's bank account, especially if they're dead. Doesn't matter if they're her family. That's not true. That's not true. Because where the money going? Where the money going? We're not talking about somebody just getting into the bank account. At the same time, they're her family. You ever heard of next of kin? If someone is family, guys, and that person is a daughter, son, whatever the case is, there are certain things that could be done, especially if they're dead. You understand? That does not give the family a green light to, I guess, beg for money on social media. That don't make no sense. And furthermore, again, if Ashlee was so successful, why her family not good? Why her family didn't have money available? Between her entire family put together, how come they didn't have $62,000 set up? Because Ashlee wasn't rocking with them. A lot of you that are viewing right now, right? Whether you admit it or not, some of you were broke at one time, struggling, and you found your way in life. You went through the fire. Your family never supported you, never was there. And now that you're successful, you kind of just moved on with your life. It doesn't mean you hate your family. It just means that you moved on and you just don't rock with them like that. You deal with them from a distance. You know what I'm saying? And you got money now. That's Ashlee. And she really never put anything into their bank accounts or whatever the case is. She wasn't rocking with them like that because she had to struggle to get to where she is. They weren't rocking with her. And in most cases, they probably had no idea of her relationships with Joe. You know, probably they didn't even approve of it. You see what I'm saying? At the same time, Ashlee had her social media thing going. She wanted to show these women that she could get a provider male. She could get the rich and wealthy guys. And it shocked that community because they were rooting for her. You go to her comment section, a lot of ladies were rooting for Ashlee. They were rooting for her. They thought that she was that she made it. Because that's what they want too. You know? They want a successful rich guy. And the thing is, ladies, all of you are not going to get that. Let's just be reasonable. You're not going to get that. I mean, money comes with a lot of other dark things. You know? Money comes with a lot of dark things. Again, I'm not trying to turn this thing into a black woman versus black man issue. At the same time, when this situation happened, a lot of black men were being blamed for her situation. They were saying a lot of negative stuff. And I try to just leave all that nonsense alone and focus on the case and not trying to start wars and all that other goofy stuff because she chose this man. Whether he's white or black, she chose Joe. And I don't feel that she knew this man for who he really was. She didn't know him. And the grass is not always green on the other side, ladies. It's not. I know some of y'all might think if you get yourself a rich white man, you know, he's great. And us brothers, we ain't nobody. We ain't good providers. We're not good husbands. And you probably feel that way. Maybe you're a part of a social media group that think it's not worth giving a black man any time of day. I hope that this story give women an understanding that you don't judge a book by its cover, right? You don't judge a man as being a man because he got millions of dollars. There's a lot of men that got money and they're no good. They'll treat you like garbage, even unalive you, as seen in this particular case. Whereas you might have a man that he don't have a lot of money, but at least he loves you. At least he'll take care of you and do his best to provide for you and the family and the kids. I think that a lot of times women want that soft life, that fantasy life. And there ain't enough millionaires in the world that could go around for each and every one of you ladies. That's why social media is fake, in the sense that it gives women a lot of hope that they're going to find this rich man. And when you find a man that's wealthy and rich, understand you're not the only woman. You do understand that, right? A rich man will never settle for one woman. Always remember that, ladies. A rich man that is worth millions will never settle for one woman. It could be possible that Joe got caught with another woman and Ashlee found out. And it messed her up because she thought she was the only one. But Joe probably was like, look, these are my women. I know them. Those are my ladies. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about that. We still engaged, but these are my ladies here. And she probably was like, nah, you embarrassing me. Nah, I'm going to social media. I'm telling my people that you ain't going nowhere. And he took her phone. Remember, he's a big guy. So he probably manhandled her, took her phone. Ain't no telling what this man did, fam. He probably beat her up, probably choked her out. And being that he choked her out, the bruising was there. So the only way to clean up this mess is to make it look like she hanged herself. You got to look at it like that, guys. You got to play these scenarios in your mind and come up with what makes sense. Come up with what makes sense. Ashlee was all about fashion, style, glamour. So you know she's recording. You know she's posting. You know that's what she do. So why Ashlee didn't post about, hey guys, I got in a bad fight, a bad argument with Joe. I'm coming back to America. This is really, really bad. She never gave you no updates, guys. That is when you know she was gone already. A real influencer is going to be notifying the public, especially on a female-based platform. Women, oh, they're going to update you. Us men, we might not do all of that, but women, when they have a group, they're more loyal. So she's going to be more talkative and active with her fan base. And her fan base really rock with her. They really do. Her fan base really looked up to her as an example of the kind of woman who can give them key information on how to win in life. So, you know, people looked up to her, and they probably even reached out to her privately to get counseling or not counseling, but like some sort of sessions or whatever. I don't know what kind of, those of you that followed Ashlee, you know more about her than me. So you would probably know, right? But let me see. He says, I think the woman was texting Joe. That could be it. Or Joe went out and Ashlee found him with a woman at a bar or on some, you know, something happened, guys. And whatever it was, it had to do with another woman. Something that triggered Ashlee to flip. And that is what happened. Joe is a multimillionaire. He's not just with Ashlee, guys. Ladies, if you get with a man that got a lot of money, and this can happen with a guy that don't got no money, but men with money is not settling with just you. Doesn't matter how fine you are. You could be the finest woman in America. You can have the best body, the most pretty face, luxurious hair. Your figure is amazing. That man will have other women somewhere. And there's nothing you could do about it. That just comes with the territory. That's something that you just got to accept as a woman. If you want the piece of the pie, if you want a man that got the paper, the lifestyle, he's going to have other women. And I believe Ashlee found out the hard way. Once he went down there with her, she was exposed to a lifestyle that she probably never seen before. Okay, here's a good question. To those of you that are real followers of Ashlee, or those of you that have been following the story, was that Ashlee's first time in Africa, in that area? Was that her first time? To those of you that been following the story, those of you that have been following her social medias, and you know everything about Ashlee, was that her first time taking a trip to that location? If it was her first time, then that's bad news, man. That means that man already knew the area. He already knew what was going on. And she was introduced to a lifestyle she never seen from that man. You know? Let me see. Says, yup, she said that was the trip of her dream. There you go. There you go, guys. Trip of her dream. Ashlee was devastated after being proposed to. She thought she came full circle. Wealth, husband, children, and mansion. You know what I don't understand? Why are people turning this into a black versus a white man? Both black and white men off women and children see it all the time on the news. I don't think that anybody is making this a black or white issue. I think that's what you're projecting that through your comment on me. At no point in my live stream did I make this a black or white thing, right? We know that white men kill women, and we know that black men kill women. You just had a black guy the other day that murdered all his children. I believe about 8 of them. So this is not a black-white thing. This is about justice for Ashlee. Now, maybe that's something you see because I don't know who you are. Maybe you're white and you feel some type of way, or maybe you're black and feel some type of way. But I'll go more with the latter. Maybe you're white and you feel some type of way because it's a white man and it's a black woman, and it just kind of looked like, oh, we need to stay away from white men. They're all killers. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just trying to put the puzzle together. Whether they're white or black, a killer is a killer. We just want justice. That's pretty much it. So it's not a black-white issue. A white man is involved with a black woman, and she turned up dead in a time where she should be celebrating her birthday, her engagement, her success. All of it came to a crash and halt once she went out with this man. So he's the common denominator right now. He's the common denominator right now. He needs to be brought in for major questioning. He needs to just be arrested right now. And there needs to be a full investigation through his cell phones, her cell phone, anybody that's connected to him, anybody he spoke to, anybody he called, anybody he texted, anything that went down from the minute they landed out there. Everybody involved need to be investigated. But it all goes back to the laws. How do the laws down there affect the case? Because a lot of times the United States can't even do anything because their hands is tied because everything happened out there. So it all depends on evidence and how the laws work. You get what I mean? It's like if you go down to the Dominican Republic and commit a crime, or Mexico and you commit a crime and you get arrested, you can't expect the United States to save you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you did the crime down there. So it's going to be a mess for you. It's going to be a mess. So now if somebody go down there on hot girl summer, uh, girls night out, and you take a trip to another country, and for some reason you get murdered out there, it can really complicate the investigation because we don't know who covered it up. We don't know if the evidence been tampered with. Again, in the United States, when crimes and certain things happen, they make sure that the evidence aren't tampered with. Overseas, you don't know what they could do. When it comes to money, this guy got money, guys. Money. He can buy everybody. He can buy everybody, fam. It's crazy. He can actually buy everybody, man. Forever Studio says he knew the laws would work in his favor in Tanzania. That's what I'm saying, man. It's like, if you know you're going to another country, you need to find out the laws. You need to find out what protections you got. You need to make sure you're safe, man. You really need to know you're safe. A lot of you that are in the United States don't even realize how safe you are in America. You can say whatever you want about America, but I can promise you, you are more safe in America than anywhere outside of America. That's a fact. You are safe. When you go overseas, you're at the mercy of the laws out there. Police can be dirty. They don't have to follow no rules. You could claim you American all you want. Once you overseas, you're overseas. You're far away from home. That's no different than if you're not in your hood and you went to someone else's state and you're in a gang infested community. You're not in your hometown. They have home court advantage. So you're at the mercy of that state you're in. Do you understand that? So when you go overseas, you got to respect the people. You got to respect the way they do things, and you can't offend nobody, because if you do, it could be bad for you, man. That's like you going to Dubai. You want to go out there as a black woman to Dubai, you better know what you're getting into. You better know what's going on, because you may not make it back home. Look at all the black women that took trips to Dubai and they end up unalive, man. Come on now. They sacrificed those women. Ain't no telling what they use those women for. Ain't no telling what kind of parties they had these women at, torturing them. Men just doing whatever they want with these women bodies. And then these women end up unalive because they wanted to have these experiences. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense at all, man. As a woman, you got to protect yourself. I get it. You want to travel. A lot of women are traveling more nowadays. There's a lot of women that are traveling way more than men. They're traveling a lot now. Women are getting to the bag. They got businesses. They got all sorts of stuff that they got going on, and they're living their life. Hey, enjoy. At the same time, you got to protect yourself. You got to protect yourself. You just can't go overseas and think you're still in the United States. It don't work like that. It don't. You know? But when it comes to this particular case with Joe, it's sad, guys, but in order for him to be brought to justice, it's going to take the people to apply pressure when it comes to content like this, pushing this kind of content so it can reach the people and it can reach the right kind of people so that people can have and ask questions about what could be done, what solutions can be done to bring justice to Ashlee. We know the laws are different. We know this happened overseas. What could be done that can raise awareness about this situation to bring justice to Ashlee? Because you guys gave the family $62,000. That's not doing anything, guys. That's not doing nothing but making them richer, helping them to pay their bills. What is being done to bring justice to Ashlee? What did the family do thus far that's bringing justice? They haven't done nothing. That's my point. They're not doing anything. I'm working more than the family right now by bringing awareness to the situation. Yeah, the United States says you are correct. And my apologies if you feel I'm going to read everybody's live chat. There's no way I can do that, guys. I can only randomly see a comment and I'll read it. If people super chat, I'll read your comment out loud, of course. Let me see. Somebody says nowadays, I guess nowadays, it's not even safe to travel outside the country with a group. Honestly, that's another reason why in the Shanquella Robinson case, you can't even travel with a group. That situation should have taught a lot of women that even if you travel with your friends, you never know what can happen. You never know what can happen. You are so correct. United States is the safest place to be compared to other countries. God has a covenant with America. This is the safest place to be, guys. No matter how you feel, it is. Let me see. I don't think he's in custody either. No updates. He's not in custody, guys. The man is chilling. The man is absolutely chilling, guys. He's not in no custody. They didn't take his passport, guys. These are all lies that the media put out to distract us from what's really going on. This man is wealthy. His money is probably funding the operation in that area, guys. You see what I'm saying? He probably got investments all in there helping to maintain the whole system. You know, that's what money does. It allows certain men to do things and get away with it. I'm just trying to figure out why would this guy propose to this woman, and then when she turned up dead, he's nowhere to be found to talk with the parents. Come on now. He's not talking to the parents. At least talk to the dad, man to man. You know, just a man to man talk. Like, look, sir, my deepest condolences go out to you and your family. I feel really, really bad. I just wanted to talk to you face to face, man to man. I did everything to protect your daughter. The media is saying that we had an argument. I'll tell you guys exactly what we was arguing about and why she was upset. I tried to console her. I tried to explain things to her. She would not listen to me, sir. I had to go get me another room because she was being physically violent towards me. She was hitting me. I did not want to put my hands on her. So I decided to just go to another room. Hopefully she'll cool off. The reason why this thing happened is, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a wealthy man. Yes, I proposed to your daughter. At the same time, there's some things about me that maybe you don't know. I had another lady that was out there, and she found out about her. I didn't know how to, I guess, bring this information to her because I know she was happy. Maybe it was the wrong timing, but this is who I am. And she got really upset, and things just went south from there. She started hitting, she slapped me. Like I said, I did not want to put my hands on her, so I called the hotel staff. They switched me to another. This man could have came into the public and do this, but he ain't do anything. So to me, the man is guilty. His hands is dirty. His hands have blood. You know, if I'm out, if your daughter went on a trip with me, I'm engaged to your daughter, and it's public knowledge, and she end up dead. You guys are gonna come look for me, man. I won't be able to rest. You guys are coming after me, no matter how this thing turn out. I won't be able to rest. Imagine you're a father. Your daughter just turned 31, got a whole life ahead of her. I proposed to your daughter publicly. Everybody's seeing this. You're excited as a father because you learning that your daughter just got proposed to. She's with a successful guy. The family is excited about this. And then 3 days later, your daughter end up dead. How that's going to sit with you as a father? You ain't going to be too happy about me. You're going to want me to explain to you, how is it that I was with your daughter, responsible for protecting her, and she end up hanging in a closet? Nah. I'm coming for you, fam. If I was the father, I'll be looking for you, dog. You're going to answer to me, man. You're going to answer to me, bro. Joe, if that was my daughter, I promise you, you're going to have that face-to-face conversation with me. You're going to have that conversation. It ain't going to be that my daughter end up in a closet hanging from a closet hanger from a clothing rack, and you just walk away and you're avoiding communication with my family. Joe, I'm doing everything in my power to find you. Do you understand me? I don't care about prison time. I don't care about none of that stuff. I'm coming for you, Joe. That's my word. That's going to be my job from now on. I'm going to come for you, and we're going to have a long talk about what happened with my daughter. But I don't see her father doing like, I don't see her father. I don't see that energy. The father's not showing that energy of a masculine man that is about his daughter, and he's serious. I don't see that energy. I don't feel the energy. I don't see no anger. I don't see that. So it kind of make me question him as a man, that your daughter is dead and you busy trying to be politically correct for the news. I'm going to be flipping on everybody. I want answers, bro. You understand? Ain't no smiles. Nah, I'm not praying for nothing. I'm coming for Joe. Joe, you got to answer, dog. You was with my daughter. So I need answers from you, man to man. You understand? So why the father is not pressing Joe? Why the mother and the family is not going hard in the paint for Ashlee? Real talk. I'm not talking about no for social media, for the news media. I'm talking about real talk. Family going in. Because Joe is hiding. The family supposed to be flipping by now. Like, Joe, you ain't talking to us? I thought you proposed to my daughter. The family of Ashlee is supposed to be speaking in videos directly to Joe, so that Joe is forced to respond, so that the public can hear the cry of the family, right? And now calling for Joe to respond. And now the whole world, listen, the whole world is shut down. Everybody that is doing business with Joe is going to be like, Joe, you don't see what's going on social media? I can't do business with you right now. I can't. You need to answer that family. You got engaged with their daughter. Their daughter is dead, and you ducking and hiding the father and the mother now? Nah, bro. You guilty, man. You're guilty. And that's the thing that I'm seeing. Her death is worse than we thought. It's worse than we thought, guys. It's worse than we thought. It's worse. Because this man knows the truth and he won't speak. Joe knows. If there's anybody that know how Ashlee really died, it's Joe. He knows. You know, men and women have arguments in relationships. Even in marriages, people argue. You know, sometimes the man might cuss his woman out, or the woman might cuss her husband out, or her boyfriend, or whatever the case is. It happens. You know, that's a part of life. But it should never end in death. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times on social media, people look up to these influencers and y'all think they got the perfect relationship. There is no perfect relationship, guys. You know what I'm saying? There's no perfect relationship. People argue, people have disagreements. It doesn't mean they fighting every day, but a real relationship cannot be a real relationship unless you're having an argument. That's how a man and a woman truly get to know one another, is by having disagreements, heated arguments. As long as you're not getting physical in terms of violence, then it's actually healthy. Anybody that believes that you could be in a relationship and you never argue, never have a disagreement, never yell or scream, you're living in a fool's paradise, because real relationships, you do these things. Fake relationships just give you this illusion that everybody's perfect. You know? Said this story feels like Theo Huxtable unalivened. You know, I don't believe that I covered that story enough. I didn't even cover the story with what's this brother, man? Um the brother from Sanford and Son. The brother that recently passed. Um he did an interview where he was talking about Kevin Samuels and how the industry killed Kevin Samuels. He was recently he recently died. And it was kind of strange because just the year before he was talking about um, Kevin Samuels. You know, it doesn't make any sense, man. Yeah, Desmond Wilson. It's like he did a powerful interview, and I covered that story where he was breaking down what he believed happened to Kevin Samuels, and his interview confirmed everything that I already talked about. Kevin was murdered because what you have to understand about Kevin Samuels, whether you liked him or not. I was not a fan of Kevin Samuels, by the way. I was not a fan. I was one of his detractors and critics. Um, he was a man who did something that the powers that be didn't like. He was bringing the conversation to black men and women. I thought his show was a minstrel show where he was just bring women on and have them call in just to humiliate them and make them look stupid. It was entertaining. At the same time, there were some things about Kevin that I didn't like. He gave you this illusion that he wanted people to be married, but that was not the case. Kevin believed in hiring, let's just say, women of the night for the weekend. That is what he really believed in. He taught this in his videos and basically said that he would hire a woman for the weekend. And he would decorate his show with lights and music and all that stuff to be very entertaining. And it was a very entertaining show. But the powers that be didn't like the fact that he had so much power. Kevin had power on social media to the point where when Kevin came online to do his shows at 10 p.m., Any show that was on cable TV, regular TV, got no ratings because Kevin was online and everybody flocked to come view his show. And over time, he grew and grew and grew, and he generated over $4 million for himself that he didn't even get to enjoy because someone decided to turn his TV off. And it's just unfortunate that that happened the way it happened. Now, I called it before it happened because I made videos basically saying that Kevin need to watch who's around him. I never trust none of the guys that was around Kevin Samuels. I always thought of it as they were just trying to take his energy because he was making money. A lot of YouTubers was jealous of Kevin and they killed him. And it's the same thing with Ashlee. You know, Ashlee was growing, doing her thing, and I'm sure she had haters, but she most likely had a lot of people that had genuine love for her, and they appreciated her and they wanted to support her and see her grow. And you have your haters, you have your people that show love, but for her to lose her life during a time where she's celebrating her birthday, engagement, it's like she was being love bombed. Joe was love bombing Ashlee a lot. And I think that blinded her and caused her not to be able to see the demon for who he really was. She was love bombed, engagements, thoughts of marriage, thoughts of having children. What does this mean for social media? Purchasing a home, wedding bells, how that's going to look. So there's a lot that was going through her mind, you know, a whole lot. Um, and again, I looked at her Instagram, but I didn't look thoroughly. I didn't look yet, but I kind of looked through it, but not thoroughly. Um, for those of you that followed her page, did she post about, I guess, her birthday, meaning you see her celebrating her birthday? Because that's very important too. Images showing her out celebrating her birthday cake, typical things that people do on their birthday. Stuff like that is good to have a paper trail of. But if she never posts that, meaning she never put that out there, that's a red flag because it's like, wait a minute, you're an influencer. Normally people would want to see you out and about celebrating your birthday. But I'll find out more on that later on as I look thoroughly at her content because I'm busy during the day and I try to do some research to put my shows together that when I go live in the night I could pretty much have something for you guys. I'm going to upload videos during the daytime as well in regards to this case, but I want to see Joe really brought in and investigated because I know I've seen these stories happen too many times, guys. He is a suspect, and the way he the way he planned this, he set it up where he can get off. It's like even if we want to pin this on Joe, the way it's set up, guys, the legalities of the way it's set up, it's almost like it was the perfect crime. Because how do you pin Joe to that room? How? It's very difficult. Even though we got a lot of conflicting stories, things are not adding up, the narrative they put out there, it's difficult to change it because it's like, how do you even know that the police are doing their job? They could have been bought and paid for. The hotel, bought and paid for. Witnesses hired to lie, and everybody's just good. It's difficult to really get this thing going, man. That's why we need the help of the viewers to push the videos. We need the family of Ashlee to stop playing, looking for money, and actually bring awareness to the possibilities of a cover up so that their words can now reach people and we can find out new information. Like, for example, the person who called the hotel to let them know that there was a disturbance. Who is that person? Why nobody interviewed that person? We need this. We need these answers, guys. We need these answers to put the puzzle together. We need camera footage, video surveillance, hallway footage. We need to see Ashlee at that location so we could see how she looked. Was she in danger? Was she scared? I personally believe, and it's just my personal opinion, is that, and we said this in the live stream, maybe you didn't hear it. When the father claimed that Ashlee pretty much notified him of what's going down, or I'm not sure if it was Ashlee, I'm not sure if it was the dude, whatever the case is, who is neither here nor there, right? I believe that the voice was AI generated. I don't believe that was her. I believe Ashlee was already gone. I don't believe that she was here, guys. I believe that was staged using AI generated voice content to make it look like Ashlee was reaching out and that she was happy and she was safe, but she was already gone. She was already gone, man. Nothing makes sense about the story. Ashlee would not be contacting the staff to get her a charger. Like, that don't make sense. So they're supposed to bring you up a used charger? What makes you so special that the staff need to bring you a charger for your phone? That would imply foul play, that somebody took her charger, perhaps Joe, to prevent her from charging her phone to reach out to her mom and dad. So that raises more questions than the answers that we're getting. A woman that is successful and got money would have a charger backup and she would have a brand new phone. So the story is not making sense. She would have a power bank, something that can charge her phone. Most people don't even use the charger, guys. Some people that are, I guess, intelligent, they don't even have a charger connected to their phone. They have their phone connected to a panel that just charges the iPhone or whatever phone automatically without plugging in a charger. You have a device, you just throw your phone on top of it and it charges the phone. You know, similar to when your phone is in your car. I got one in my car. You just take the phone, just put it on it, and it charges. You don't need to plug in. You don't need to plug nothing in. You know. So I'm not buying that story, and I'm not buying the story that Joe was moved to another room. A grown man moving to another room means domestic violence. It means that somebody was slapping somebody, somebody was hitting somebody. There was physical contact, and they had to separate these two. So why the authorities wasn't called? Why? Ashlee could have been beaten. She could have been bruised and battered. And Joe going to another room? Come on now. Come on. Once you separate two adults, they're no longer one. So the engagement probably was called off. Think about that. Think about this, guys. What if Ashlee called off the engagement and then she was killed? What if Ashlee was about to come to social media to do that and it would have embarrassed Joe? Being that he proposed to her, and then later she found out about some other woman and decided to come to social media to tell her people, look, I called off the engagement because of X, Y, and Z. That would have embarrassed Joe. He probably couldn't live with it. But something happened in that room, guys. Something dark, something evil, and Ashlee deserves justice because we don't know how much info they not telling us. That's the thing that's crazy. Remember, those of you that are biblically sound, There's a portion in the Bible where it talks about Cain and Abel, that when Cain killed his brother, God said that the blood of your brother is crying out from the ground. That's exactly what's happening with the case of Ashlee. She's dead, and her blood is crying out for justice, crying out for, hey guys, if y'all only know what happened to me, if y'all only know what they did to me. Do you understand that? Her case is being swept under the rug, and they're trying their best to cover it up. We can't allow them to cover it up, guys. We can't allow the media to continue to lie, distort information, change narratives. We can't allow that. We're smart. Most of you, your gut feeling is telling you that she was murdered. You know this already. Don't second guess yourself. Your mind already told you. Your heart is telling you. Ashlee was murdered. You know it already. You ladies, your intuition is telling you. You could look at Joe and you know he's a monster. That man looked evil, fam. Like he didn't love that woman. That was a joke. He was acting like he was engaging. He was acting like he was proposing to her, to love bomb, to put her under a spell. You understand? Ain't no telling, bro, what this woman been through, bro. And all she wanted to do is probably come back home. And she probably was being held against her will to the point where she couldn't leave, man. Even though she had money and she could travel, she probably was being held against her will and couldn't even leave. You know? You know, sometimes it be like that in relationships as a woman where you want to leave a house and the man is like, no, you can't go, and he holding you back. That's kidnap. So imagine being in a whole nother country and you found out that Joe is up to no good, and for whatever reason you want to leave and you unable to leave because you got these people that are at the hotel holding you hostage. The family needs to see the body. There needs to be. I didn't even search to find out about an autopsy. I got to look that up to find out if she was drugged, if there was any sort of something going on. But that info, maybe they released that info. I don't know. But I'm gonna check to look up to see if there's an autopsy report, what they have to say about that, because we gotta find out these info, man. If she was hanging, there needs to be proof of that. Um, it's just a lot of questions, man. A lot of questions, man, and we're getting back very little answers. I don't like this. Joe, I know you're listening. I know you're up and you're listening to this live right now. Um, you need to communicate with the family and let them know what really went down, and or just turn yourself in. Make it easy for everybody. Just turn yourself in and just come clean and just do the right thing. You know, you you had a disturbance with this woman. Something happened. Perhaps your lifestyle was revealed. You got out of hand and she ended up dead. And you probably paid these people to make it look like she took her own life, knowing good and well we the people are not going to believe that, right? But you did it anyway because you figure we'll believe it. We're not going to believe that because the evidence show that Ashlee was not the type of woman who was thinking about taking her life, especially during a time of celebrating her engagement, her her birthday, traveling, her dream destination, her success. She's out with the guy of her dreams. That does not equal a woman that want to unalive herself. So I don't know why you put that narrative out there, Joe. I don't know why you paid these people to lie, but it's not going to work. It's not going to stand. So I suggest that you come into the public and actually address the people on what really happened and just turn yourself in, man. Just um you got. Just turn yourself in. That way it could bring closure to the parents. They'll know that their daughter was murdered rather than believing that she took her own life. That's a horrible thing, especially if people have religious beliefs. You know, if the family are Christian, if the family are believers in Jesus Christ, the last news they want to hear is that their daughter took her own life. If you study the scriptures, if the daughter took her own life, that means that she's damned. You know what I mean? People that take their own life, they don't make it to the kingdom. That's like a one-way ticket to the lake because you murdered yourself. So it's like, why would you want that to be the memory? So it would be better to just turn yourself in and confess what you did or who you hired or what may have transpired on that time. That way the family has closure. And it would be best for you to just communicate with the dad and the mom. And once you do that, just turn yourself into the local authorities. Because I believe you're back in the United States. Um, I seen a video or an image clip of someone asking Joe, "Are you back in the States?" So I gotta go verify all this information, and because there's a lot of fake news that people are publishing, such as some fake content where people saying Cardi B says she's paying for the funeral. Um, I think that's 100% fake news. So be careful with what you guys are looking at because when you go to Cardi B's social media, there's nothing there that suggests she's paying for a funeral. And the video that I seen, it looked like AI. It looked AI generated. So I wouldn't buy that. I seen a couple of you post that in my comments saying that Cardi B is paying for a funeral. I doubt that. I don't believe that. If she's paying for the funeral, that would make Joe look even worse. Think about that. If Cardi B is paying for the funeral of Ashlee, then Joe is guilty. How come Joe haven't came up in the public and said that he's willing to pay for the funeral for Ashlee? Here's another one. If you want this bit of information, guys, put a 1 in the chat because nobody on YouTube is breaking this stuff down like Ringo TV. Nobody. Put a 1 in the chat if you want this ultimate truth. The truth that nobody's going to say, but you're going to hear it here, and we're going to wait and see. The truth is this, guys. We know that there will be a funeral for Ashlee. If Joe McCann doesn't show face at that funeral, that is a red flag. If he don't show face at the funeral of the woman he was to marry, that makes that man guilty as charged. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. And I'm going to come back with more content in regards to this case and other content as well. But we still got to cover the story about the black guy. I'm not sure if he's a black American or he's of another, maybe African descent or whatever. But the man who murdered his 8 children, one of the most horrible things, to even talk about. I don't even like talking about cases like that, but why would you take out the kids, man? 8 souls gone because a demon had an issue with his woman. He even tried to kill her, but she survived. And The worst thing is to survive and you know all your kids that you birthed are gone. How does a mother live? How does a mother live knowing that all 8 of her kids are gone and she's alive? I would just rather be gone too, to be honest. I would not want to be here. If I know that I was in a situation like that and all my kids are gone and I'm left behind, nah, I'll gladly want to check out because it ain't worth living no more. It's not worth living no more, man. That's the worst thing ever. Now, here's the thing. You guys gave the family of Ashlee $62,000. But yet, what did that woman get? Was there a GoFundMe set up for her? Did her GoFundMe raise $5 million for the loss of 8 children? I don't know. I probably got to do some research and find out, was a GoFundMe set up for her? Because it seemed like people give all their money to the wrong people. That woman lost 8 kids. She's hurting. And she was injured as well. I believe shot, stabbed, whatever the case is. 8 children, guys, gone because of a demon-possessed man. Look, ladies, y'all got to do a serious investigation on the men that you choose. Because that's the worst thing I've ever heard, man. I don't know why is it that when these men want to check out, they take all the kids with them. If you wanted to go, bro, all you had to do is just check out. Leave the kids alone, man. They small too, small kids taking out the children. There's a special place in hell for people like that. People that harm children, there's a special place in hell for you. So, again, if Joe don't attend the funeral, that man is guilty. And if there's anything all of you need to focus on, is justice for Ashlee. Because she was murdered. And her blood is crying out. And people are hiding. And we can't stay quiet about these situations. Too many women, man, is getting unalived on these trips. And it's not cool, man. So shout out to all of you folks that took the time to come on out to the show. Really appreciate you stopping by. If you're new to the platform and you like my commentary, you think I did a good job, and it's worthy of you subscribing to the platform, then do so. We really appreciate that. Consider hitting the like button as well. Likes go a long way. That's what helped the videos with the algorithm. So we'll catch you guys next time. We'll have this conversation, share more information about what's going on, and bring more awareness. I think the next show that I'm going to do, when I go live, I might go live in the studio and review like the video footage and stuff like that from her platform. I'm going to do some pre-recorded videos and just upload those. So check that out. I'm going to also create a playlist of these videos so that you're able to find them. And, you can put the puzzles together and whatnot. I'm trying to do a thorough job on this particular case and bring awareness to this because she was murdered. And whatever they did to her is bad. It's really bad. They did that woman dirty. And we got to get down to the bottom of this case. We can't just let her die and the truth never got out there. And the murderer walks free. Nah. We're in social media age now, fam. People shouldn't be getting away with these kind of crimes. It's one thing if it was back in the day, the 90s, the 80s, that's a different time. We're in 2026. With the power of social media, we're able to bring awareness to these things. So support the truth, support content that bring awareness to these type of stories. And you guys have a blessed day wherever you are in the world. We appreciate you. Shout out to the moderator, Forever Studios, in the building. Shout out to all the moderators that are doing their thing. And if you're new to the platform, welcome to Ringo TV Reactions. We're glad to have you aboard. So y'all have a blessed day, blessed night, blessed evening, wherever you are in the world. If you're on the road, drive safe. Shout out to all my truckers. Shout out to everybody on the late night shift. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode. So that being said, y'all take care, right? We're going to get up on out of here. Somebody said, what? Does anyone know if Ringo has Zelle? No, I don't. I have PayPal and I have Cash App. My Cash App is $Ringo TV Raw. You can find that in the video description, so you could be safe in the video description. That's where you'll find it. Or PayPal, I believe it's paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw, right? And yeah. So I appreciate all of those of you that support the shows, support the work that we do here. Y'all have a blessed evening, blessed night, wherever you are in the world. Drive safe if you're on the road. And more importantly, guys, be safe out there. Trust your instincts, have discernment, and have intuition. Know who you are hanging around. Because a lot of times people just want your energy. There's a lot of energy vampires out there who want to sacrifice you in order for them to be successful. Catch you in the next episode. I'm out. Peace.